Okay. I didn't realize that I had manually muted, so you saw a mute intro. As I said, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Redseapodcast. This is episode 57, and today we have a mixture of negatives and positives, really, as I'm here to touch on the game with Panathinaikos that happened yesterday, and we all saw what happened there, the whole chaos that happened there. And I'm here to touch on the massive transfer spam that the team decided to just attack us with today, per se, to contradict the negativity of yesterday. But I will start with the bigger talking point, and that indeed is the game of Olympiacos and Panathinaikos that finished 1-1 with David Carmo scoring his first goal in an Olympiacos shirt in the 14th minute after an amazing cross in by who I'm pretty sure was Rodinei, yes. And then in the 74th minute, after a penalty conceded by the scorer, David Carmo, um, Panathinaikos equalized after being with a man up from the 45th, from the latter stages of extra time of the first half. Just his second career goal. Is that true about Carmo? Has he only scored 2 goals in his career? That's insane. And it's insane that I completely missed that, but that's a different story. Uh, but yeah, damn, what a way to go and what a game to go on and score your second ever, of course, your first goal with the red and white, but your second ever career goal, as it seems, which is nuts. Yeah. I'm genuinely surprised. But damn. But yes, after Costinha's red, uh, Panathinaikos were a man up for an entire half until Ingerson decided to go all kamikaze on a counter-attacking. I'm pretty sure it was Roman Yaremchuk, and get a second yellow and get sent off himself in what would go on to be the last major event of the game, really. Something that I will actually go on and do. And for those of you who are new, I tend to do this in solo streams. Is even for those of you who are watching after, you will see that in the live chat a link would have been dropped. That link is for you whenever you are on and whenever that is in the chat to join in with me and come talk about your opinion about whatever the show's topic is live. That link is gonna be starred always and it's right here. Now, a bit more on the game. Let's take it from the top. Of course, the first major play of the game, really, as Olympiacos came out guns blazing. I said that on Twitter as well. I don't really remember us getting into a game this strong, especially there being the last, what may be even 5 years. And it all was looking as perfect as it can get with the David Carmo goal coming in very early. And I'm pretty sure most, if not all of us, thought that the game was going to go on smoothly. Panathinaikos did have one or two chances in the first half, but nothing major really as Olympiacos continued to dominate and dominate. Olympiacos were asking for a penalty on El Kabi, and let me be very clear on my opinion on all the quote unquote controversial happenings of the game. To begin off, there was no penalty on El Kabi, in my opinion, because Palmer Brown's touch wasn't enough for it to be given a penalty, and Ingerson somehow missed both the ball and El Kabi, which only players like Ingerson can do that, but that's different. So for me, no penalty on El Kabi. The penalty that Fotis Ioannidis got is a clear penalty as David Carmo steps on him. The way he falls is a different story. I stand by the ground that I said yesterday that Fotis Ioannidis may be the biggest diver in the league right now, and there was never a red uh, on Costinha. There was never a foul on Costinha, at least in my opinion. That's not even close to a foul for me. I get that there was an argument for what card should be given since the foul was given, but the mistake in that play for me is that there never should have even been a foul, because if there is a touch with Jurisic, it's minimal to none. So for me, there was nothing. That's my opinion. That there is no penalty on El Gabi, the penalty on Fotis is clear, and there should have never been a red. And for the ridiculous argument that there was a foul by Carmo on the goal he scored, not even gonna sit down and analyze that. There isn't even a hint of an argument of a foul by Carmo on the goal he scores. Not even a hint of an argument. But yes, as the half changed, ref gives a foul and the yellow to begin with, but the VAR calls him for a check, and that yellow card gets upgraded up to a red. Coming into the second, Danny Garcia comes in for Zelson. Again, Olympiacos come out the better team despite being a man down, and the biggest chance I can recall is that El Kabin narrow miss, and another big chance I can recall is the Babis Kostulas header of a deflection that again narrowly missed. Olympiacos were really looking like the better team despite being a man down. And I truly do believe that if it wasn't for the penalty, we'd have won the game 1-0. But of course, normal circumstances, judging by the way the game was going, I think we all know that the game would have ended like 3-0. But honestly, thinking about it with calmer mind, it is what it is, really. Of course, we could have pulled further ahead, but we got the point. We didn't pull off a disaster. We didn't lose our heads and go on and lose the game. We got to the point, and we're still 4 points on top. Have a 4 point advantage with major chances still to pull further ahead, even before the playoffs. And of course, as I said yesterday on the full time, with as cool of a head as I could have had, uh, we will get our jetbacks when it's needed, and we will get our jetbacks when we're given the chance to. And the first chance to get those will be on the 5th, February in the Karaiskakis once again in the second leg of the cup game. The scoreboard won't be writing 1-1. Then the scoreboard is gonna be very ugly then because Delibar himself and the fans will demand that no real concerns should be there regarding pulling back anything. And fans are already looking forward to that game with everyone thinking, and in my opinion, thinking very correctly that we will dispatch Karabakh and wait on all the results to see where we end up in the Europa League. And then people are talking about rotation against Olympiacos. I'd say let's not get too far away, too far ahead of ourselves, because a game away in Livadia may be one of the easiest games, purely football-wise, that there is in the league. But games in those types of fields will always be relatively tricky, and it's a game that we need to pull off no matter what. So again, I am in agreement with rotation in that game, but rotation enough in where we pull off the victory and then go full force at Panathinaikos and show no absolute mercy. Performance-wise, of course, the 11 was Kostas Giolakis in the net under the sticks. Giolakis not really needing to do much. Of course, didn't save the penalty. We can't expect Giolakis to save every penalty in existence. The celebrations by Fotis, a captain who tried to show his club's badge to Retsos, and Fotis has won one cup, and Retsos has won a European Cup, a Conference League, to say the least of what Retsos has won with this team. And yeah, you all can just clearly see the football IQ of that squad and the ego, the undeserved ego that they can have sometimes. But that's honestly a whole last story that, in my opinion at least, doesn't really deserve attention. The team dealt with it like a unit. No real fight broke out, so everything's good. At least in my opinion. Massive credit goes to both David Carmo and Panos Retsos, both for mentioned, as I said, had an amazing game. And again, focusing on the scorer a little bit, David Carmo, just after the Porto game, hopefully he keeps up consistency because after the Porto game, I feel like we're seeing glimpses of last year David Carmo, of the Carmo that's always at the top of his game and it just brings, excuse me, and just brings a completely different level to Olympiacos' back line, but also a massive credit goes to the ever improving Panos Retsos. Panos, who is even arguably playing wise. I won't even say having the best season of his career. I'll go back to what I had talked about a few episodes ago and say that after Aston Villa, par minimal exceptions, Panos Retsos has been on the form of his life. Panos has been unrecognizable and not only has he been playing amazingly defensively, not only has he scored his first goal with Olympiacos as well, but he's been complete warrior, a deserved captain, much deserving of the captaincy. And not only is he a massive leader and motivator in a relatively young age regarding the usual suspects of captaincy and team leadership, but he's throwing his body in at every play. He's been the definition of blood, sweat, and tears for this club. And I feel that he'll sadly be one of the very few players that, while they will, Retsos has already written history at this club, but while they will keep writing history as one of the very important members of historic Olympiacos squads, they'll never get the true credit they deserve. Going to also one more player that has improved insanely uh, as time goes on, and uh, Bruno Onyemaetsi's transfer seems to be pushing him already, coming off two games where he's been unbelievably, surprisingly good, and that, of course, is Francisco Ortega. Ortega playing two amazing games, playing in great form in two of our most important games of the season. And we were talking about it on this show. A lot of people have been talking about it. And if he keeps this consistent top top of his game form, all he needed was competition. People were calling for his head. People were saying that he is gonna leave, but at least the calm-headed, common logic people were saying that players need a proper backup to push them to be even better. Uh, and that's what seems to be happening for the first time in a while regarding the left back position in Olympiacos. And Onyemaechi hasn't even played yet. I really hope this means we get a consistent Ortega at the top of his game because we know that he can be way better than he is sometimes. But sadly, he didn't have any competition, any proper competition, up until now. Now, Costinha is a weird one. Costinha, as usual, was having a very good game up until the red card, and then he makes a mistake, loses control of the ball with, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it is Jurisic that uh, made sure Costinha got that red card. And yeah, just makes a mistake, runs back, Jurisic falls well enough to earn a foul, and then the card gets upgraded to a red with Costinha immediately apologizing. Okay, good. It is Jurisic. My memory doesn't false me. Uh, with Costinha, as I was saying, immediately apologizing to the people, and the people deservingly so clapping as he was exiting the field. Can't be mad at Costinha, really, because mistakes like that do happen. Of course, it's a mistake that he needs to fix, and I'm sure that it is a mistake that Costinha will fix, and I'm sure we won't see it maybe ever again or absolutely minimal times, but he's not at fault for that red card. No one can really come out and say that Costinha is at fault for that red card. At least as I see it, once again, the duo of Santiago Ese and Christos Mouzakitis, Ese almost getting an assist, and this was one of Ese's good games. Not the utter flab, just shocking, I almost said flabbergasting. Flabbergasting fits as well. The utter shockingly good performances that Ese puts in, but it wasn't a bad game either. What can you say though when he has such a talented, pure definition of a wonderkid next to him? Mouzakitis, especially Mouzakitis is my MVP for this game. I'll make that loud and clear. Mouzakitis for me was the MVP for this game. And what can you say, especially after the red card? Mouzakitis almost winning the game on his own after passing three Panathinaikos players, earning a foul at the edge of the box, and very nearly converting that foul himself. Just what what a player! And I think uh, the majority, at least, of Olympiacos fans are just in awe of him, and at the same time praying that he doesn't leave the team. Zelson, on his return to the starting 11 after a few games of absence, was unfortunate, really, not really having the best first halves, was more or less neutralized. And with Costinha's red, he was the unlucky one that had to go out the 45th for Danny Garcia. So not really much to say there. Chiquinho also getting subbed out, but way later, the 76th. Again, not anything incredible by Chiquinho, but quite a good game. I just can't wait to see the trio that we'll have in the midfield, uh, with Andre Horta, of course, coming back, which I'm so excited about, and I'll go on the most positive rant ever in a bit. Uh, I just can't wait to see Chiquinho back to his proper role. Hopefully, hopefully, I don't know what will happen, but I just can't wait for Chiquinho to have a bit more flexibility now with uh, Horta coming in, and I can't wait to see how our midfield will rotate, because adding Horta to an already incredible and stacked midfield is just as I use in the basketball shows mostly with Evan Fournier. It really just felt like the missing puzzle piece. And I think not many of us have actually realized the magnitude of that move yet. But I feel like we will very, very soon, as Zorta is ready to play. And I guess he'll make his proper return against Levadiakos on Saturday or Sunday, whenever we play. I don't even remember, to be honest. Uh, Moving on to Rodinei. Rodinei, once again, the multi-positional Rodinei. But on my end, my camera froze for a bit. I hope that didn't happen. And then just running circles around the Panathinaikos defense, playing a very, very good game, complemented by the aforementioned assist. And then the second half, having to move back to right back, and once again playing very, very damn well. So I did cut out. Is everything okay now? I hope everything's okay now. Uh, but yes, Rodinei with a very good game, topped off once again by an assist. El Capi, El Capi, El Capi. I'm glad everything's okay now. Ayub, El Capi, not amazing. Not amazing, didn't get many chances in the game. The one major chance he got was very hard to convert, and he didn't. Uh, and yeah, well, I was expecting a goal from Ayub El Gabi, but of course the game was chosen, to say the least. So no real complaints from El Gabi either. Now moving on to the subs. Danny Garcia, of course, coming in the 46th minute for Zelson Martins. Danny doing his job, didn't play badly. Uh, then after that, let me not miss any subs. In the 76th minute, Babis Kostoulas came in. Babis coming in once again, guns blazing. I really thought he'd pull back and score. I don't know why I believed it so much. I have not the slightest uh, complaint that he didn't, but I think Babis is on such a good streak of form that I just expect him to pull off winners and winners every time he comes in. Great game by Babis. Tried to win the game on his own, got very close, but just didn't get there. I don't think there are really any complaints by anyone for anyone regarding the team. Of course, Roman Yaremchuk came in also late in the game. Again, Roman seems like he's improving more and more as time goes on, but couldn't score against Panathinaikos this time. I'm sure he'll do it in the cup. I'm praying for a Yaremchuk winner in the cup. I really am praying for a Yaremchuk winner in the cup. That's about it regarding the game and what I wanted to say. Of course, I said my MVP. The very ironic thing to say, and the one of the most pointed out things per se in this game is that Jose Luis Mendilibar got his first ever yellow card as a coach. I think that alone says enough. Uh, but yes, Super League wise, I still think there's no reason to panic. Like, okay, what happened happened. We're all pissed. And I'm still pissed. But as we all saw, they couldn't outperformance even a man up. Panathinaikos isn't a worry. So if we go on and beat Pauk and Dyke and pull even further ahead, we're not losing this league. I'm believing in us massively. And I urge everyone to do the same and not go into a panic because we got absolutely daylight robbery. Uh, we're still massive favorites for this league, and we're still top. This is something that we need to get into our heads. We are relatively comfortably, top of the league. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The game that will show a lot for how the league will go and where it will end up is Ike away at Hagia Sophia, not in the playoffs, in the regular season. Because if we go and beat Ike away again and pull uh, 7 points difference from Ike with Panathinaikos undoubtedly fucking up against a mid-table club. We're more than solid. I'm really, it may be stupid confidence, but I'm really, really not worried in the slightest. Our full focus should be on the Europa League now. Either way, we need to just dispatch Karabakh with as many goals as we can and make sure we do at least our part to get into the top 8 of the Europa League and skip February playoffs entirely and play Europe again in March in the round of 16 of the Europa League, which is insane. A reminder, league-wise, before I fully get into talking uh, about the transfers, if Olympiacos go on to win the Superleague this season, it's not only a must for our 100 years, but if Olympiacos go on and win the Super League this season, they get automatic qualification for the Champions League, which will boost us insanely in so many departments. So the league is a must, not just now, for many years on, for so many reasons. Reminder, we haven't been in the Champions League. Like, leave the insane economic boost out of the way. Leave the insane player pool out of the way that we already seem to have. It will get bigger and bigger. Uh, we haven't been in the Champions League in how many years? It's been too long for a club that was constantly in the Champions League for years and years and years on. We need to get back to that. It's moral only, if anything. Okay, we need to. It's not a want. Of course, it's a want, and of course, it's a goal. But with the UCL parameter coming in, it is a must. If it wasn't already for our 100 years, it's a double must. Let me say that better. With the UCL parameter coming in, and as it seems, with of course other leagues playing a part, we will be the team that will get the automatic qualification with how other leagues are. Doesn't seem it doesn't seem like that's gonna change. And we need to take advantage of that. No matter what. Anything regarding the game, if you're watching after, don't be afraid to leave your thoughts down below, whether you agree or disagree with me, and don't be afraid to message me. Go check out all the links in the description. All the show's socials are right there. Apart from TikTok, which I'm trying to get more active. I didn't know what would happen either way with the minuscule ban that it got in the US and everything that's happening right now, but that's a story for another time. I am gonna try and get TikTok more active, especially with clips. Especially with clips. I also am gonna start using the YouTube community notes more often, as you will saw 2 days ago, and I'm gonna start directing some polls there. So do keep your eye out for that. Turn on notifications for the channel if you like, after you like and subscribe. If you like what you see, I meant, of course. And everything is in the description. Just don't be afraid to interact. No matter the team you support, whether you're the audience I'm trying to reach, which is Olympiacos in Greece and outside of it, of course. That's why the show happens in English. I want to connect a widespread Olympiacos community and give them a voice, a safe space where they don't have to worry about getting criticized, blocked, or no matter what. And, or even if you are slowly getting into the team and want to learn more, or even if you support another team. I've been blessed for this show to have made friends that support any team. My girlfriend of 4 years now, the love of my life, is an Ike fan. And in general, I love interacting with fans. So feel free to message me. That's about it. Now, to get into the most positive rant that I think I've ever gotten in the long 57 episodes of this show, Andre Orta, after 6 fucking months again. As if you'll miss the episode with Tito from Viola Nation, the second episode of the Red Sea Chronicles, go check it out. This show is not the friendliest regarding family friendly stuff, but we still keep going. We keep it to a minimal, but everyone can say whatever they want. It's a point of giving everyone a voice. But yes, after 6 fucking months of whether it was Braga playing games or anything, after 6 months of him pushing to come to the place he loves, it's finally happened. And you all can't begin to imagine the utter joy that I felt with the announcement. I was at the goddamn gym on my way to the gym, and I had the biggest smile on my face. Uh, that's why you all got post spam as well. So apologize about that, but do go check out everything. It's my first thoughts on everyone. Uh, but yes, a player that, as I said earlier on in the show, I don't think we understand the magnitude of that transfer. I just realized something. I don't have my scarf. 40 minutes into the show, and I realized that I'm not wearing the scarf. I always wear on these shows. That's why something was looking very wrong. But yeah, that's a mistake that won't happen again. It's too late to go get it. But yes, as I said, the transfer that I don't think we realize how much positive impact will have in the team. A player that wanted to be here, wanted to stay here, and a player that is already massively loved and appreciated by each and every single one of the fans. One of the immortal names in our history of the team that won our first European trophy, and a player, more importantly, that is ready and 100% to immediately come in and play in a team he knows in and out. The only thing that, yes, I know, shame on me for forgetting the scarf. It won't happen again. It really won't. I was just too excited to get into this. The only thing that I have to say about Andre Horta, my thoughts on the transfers are going to be a bit brief because I do want to sit down and make separate videos for each and every one of these moves. So do be expecting those within the week before the Karabakh game, hopefully. Uh, so yeah, the only thing I have to say about Andre Horta is that the moment he said what he said to Robbie Keane, the tell your boys this isn't over quote, and we went on to pull off one of the most not only unexpected but historic comebacks in Europe. is the moment that he solidified himself as a legend in everyone's eyes, and he's here to win more and more stuff. And as we now know, the buyout clause is mandatory. It stands at 2.5 million. It's a 2 million bonus added, and it's a total robbery. And Andre Horta is here to stay. Finally, for the love of all that's holy, finally. Now, moving on to a transfer that we knew would happen for a while. It's now official. Betancourt, the current top scorer, solo top scorer of the Super League, is officially an Olympiacos player, but will remain at Panathinaikos on loan for the remainder of the season. At this rate, will probably get top scorer unless El Kabi just has a more historic second half of the season than he did last year. Uh, and then will be properly inducted into the team come summer of 2025. Many people remain not really excited about this one, uh, but again, I couldn't be happier that he's joining us. We see his quality, he's having the best season of his career. Yes, he's not a superstar, and I'm not comparing them, but neither was El Kabi. It's not always about names, it's about quality. And I don't think we could have asked for a more quality backup in this position, and the backup that knows the league. Will he work out? Will he be as good as he is at Panathinaikos? Will he keep up his pace? I don't know. But I believe he will. I believe he'll improve his pace. And I believe that as Ayub El Gabi's backup, he'll have an even better season next year. Performance wise, at least. So I'm very happy for that. And last but not least, before I get into a segment that I was having as a separate, Bruno Onyemaechi. Hope I'm not butchering the man's name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, a very different left back than Francisco Ortega. And as I said on my post, and as I said earlier as well, the competition that Ortega will get and the gaps of characteristics that Ortega isn't necessarily that strong in. Because again, we're talking about a very different left back. Uh, couldn't have asked again for a much better option as a backup. Shows good promise from the little I have seen at least. We'll see. That's the most I can say right now. And closing in on 45, just past 45 minutes, I've been blabbering on solo for 45 minutes. That's insane. Thank you all for sticking with me. The last segment of this show um, is gonna be about something that I did get quite emotional over posting about it as well, and that of course is that Omar El Abdelawi, one of the most legendary captains in Olympiacos' recent history, has officially retired at 33. Of course, we all wish him the best. No one's ever gonna forget what he did, not only on the pitch, but off. And I think, especially for what he did off the pitch, he'll not only be remembered as an Olympiacos legend, but a hero as well. Did it cost him a few years of his career? Yeah, it did, but he saved his kid. uh, and honestly, I don't know an example of someone who deserves all the respect, the success, and the joy that they've gotten and they will get. I'm sure Umar will get all the good things he truly deserves. And yeah, it was one of the fairest players that ever made me fall in love with his team. So I just wanted to say a special thank you, I guess. That's about it. Closing in on a very long solo episode, around about 50 minutes. I'll probably see you all tomorrow, hopefully with a video, probably about Andre Horta coming in. It will be about one of the three men that come in. So yeah, thank you all so much for all your support because it's been insane. We're growing bigger and bigger, and I couldn't be happier. See you all in the next one. Thank you.